Can you just encapsulate why we have to keep having these wretched jabs?
Yes, indeed. And I was actually, well, we're seeing, because remember during the pandemic when we first got the vaccine, I still remember very clearly giving the first vaccine in December 2020. We then did an age cohort, everyone. We wanted to vaccinate everyone. And then there was a whole requirement to have it to travel to certain population. We vaccinated the entire population. But as things has emerged, the pandemic has ended, the virus has changed. We are more used to it, but it can cause serious diseases in certain population. So remember, we talked about the antibodies that are produced when you get the vaccine. We know that that level of antibodies wanes or reduces in certain populations, and especially if you're immunosuppressed and in the older population. So that's why looking at the evidence on balance, the JCVI, which is who we look to recommend who should be vaccinated and when, still recommended a spring campaign because we're still seeing people admitted and unwell with COVID infection. But it's the at-risk population. So in particular, the older age group, which is why it's pushed to 75 in the spring campaign. So if you're over 75, you will be offered a vaccine every 6 months, effectively, at the moment in spring and in autumn. And if you're immunosuppressed, because we know that your response, that in terms of making those antibodies, is not as good as someone who isn't immunosuppressed. And that's immunosuppressed from a condition or from medication. So it is evidence that you may have waned your antibody response. So that's why we want to give you a booster, so like a top up. So that's why you're being offered it. But we're not offering it to everyone. It's just the most at-risk population. Hence
Right.
why we keep. So everyone always counts because we made such a big thing of COVID. They'll show me their cards with their COVID vaccination. But when I ask how many flu vaccines have you had, people think, oh, so we should start seeing it. COVID is now endemic in that it'll always be there in the background, but we want to try and prevent it causing a major issue in our most vulnerable. So similar to how we're offered the flu each year, COVID will at the moment be offered, but they keep looking at the evidence and that may change. It may be that it just goes to a year for everyone, but we are in a spring campaign right now. We know we're going to have an autumn campaign. We don't know yet whether we're going to have a spring campaign next year, 2026. So they are looking at the information. It's not an automatic, we're doing it every 6 months.